What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I would like to invite each and every one of you all to a tour that I am doing on November the 11th through the 22nd of 2022. This spiritual journey to Ghana is something that many people have been waiting for. I only have 18 slots that are available. This is an exclusive enrichment tour that those who have been searching for answers, those who have been looking for spiritual healings, that I have laid out this special tour in order to have those answered and for you all to experience what this whole Ghana tour is all about. This journey that we have been on in Americas that many of us do not know the rest of the story. So I'm giving you the invite to come and join us. Go to goblacktoafrica.com and reserve your spot today. What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all who have come in at this special time of day, evening, or morning. I have some interesting things to share with you all today. Great conversation with a young man. Excuse me. Great conversation with a young man today that I was able to break open, some mindsets in order for us to even see and how that we can be more successful as people here on this earth here in a system that we feel as though that may be detriment, that hold us back, that keeps us from prospering, when in actuality, sometimes it might be us. Sometimes it might be our mindset that it keeps us from really prospering. And the more and more I'm talking to people, I'm finding out that to be true. So let me give some shout outs to those who are in here right here. African Channel Inspector is in the house. Pieces and blessings to you right here. Quay, I think that is Q. Notification in here. Shalom to you, family. African Channel again. Let's see here. Zorio, Somali Talk. Peace and blessings to you. Basil, Basil, I'm not sure. Excuse me. I speak English, okay? Good evening to you as well. Alicia, what is a Black mindset? That's a very good question, because we're going to open that door to find out why is it this way. Don P. Ben Yahuda, what's up, my brother? How are you doing? Shalom to you too as well. Adia, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you too. Let's see here. Everything comes out of blackness, depending on what we would consider that to be. But I get what you're saying. Let me go ahead, family, right here and get this whole thing started, because, there was a day, and for those who don't know my story, I probably shared this the other night, that we have been told a lot of things. We have been labeled a lot of things, and we got sucked into it. We believe it. We behave like it, and it has set us up for failure in our life. I'll be the first one to admit that these things that we consider to be Black, because we were told we were Black, set off some stereotypical belief systems within ourselves to even keep us from going further, because of the association to Black kept us back. Now, you might ask, okay, now, man, I'm not getting what you're saying. Go Black. But what I'm saying is this right here, and I'll use myself as an example. Coming up, in my family, all my family back in the day, we would have sayings. People in the community, those who were Black skin color, if you want to call it that, African American, Negro, Moors, if you want to call it Kemet, if you want to call it whatever name you want to call it, but we're going to just stay because of a universal word that is known as Black, even though this coat is Black. Anyway, we would have sayings to be able to place ourselves in things and situations or out of things and situations that we would consider to be race related. Back then, we would say, it's if the news came on the TV and it said a man shot up uh, and killed 10 people. This is back in the 70s, 80s. This was like almost unheard of what you see mass shootings, but we would say they were white. If we heard man arrested for stealing a car, oh, he was black. Let's go on beyond that when it comes to crime. We would say things like white people, they swim in the ocean, they go skiing, mountain hiking, rock climbing. Oh, that's what white people do. Black people, barbecues, turn the music on, start dancing. We associated everything to a stereotypical mindset. We have used this in a sense, unbeknownst to a lot of us, which has caused us to cripple our own future, our own family, our own self. When we sit here and talk about black, back in the day, it was like black can't do that. Nah, you can't do that. You would have people tell you that. A black man don't have no ice cream shop business. A black man don't have no a company, a corporation. Black people ain't no doctors. Black people ain't scientists. And we would say these things, and even to the ears of our children, to where the children will believe it themselves. And you set a course your own child from the curse of the words that you spoke to them and limiting them to explore all things that are here in life for them to explore. Those things that are right, of course. Because I know for myself, I decided after I heard in my spirit that I wasn't a black man. Now, why was I told I was not a black man? Because for those who know, I chewed on this for a whole year, family. And I chewed on this and I could not swallow this thing when I'm hearing, you're not a black man. Because I was wrestling with the ideal of how I was raised into believing what they told us our skin color was. But what it was that it actually boxed me into thinking I was only able to do certain things. One of the things that broke that ice that I had to challenge myself on is doing things I've never done before. And it was a very important time in my life when I walked away from Christianity. I walked away from the mindset of thinking that this idea that this kind of skin color that I have, we don't do certain things. What I did was experience things that I have never thought black people would do. I went ahead and I surfed. Got on a surfboard, and this white guy showed me how to surf. And I'll never forget, I was in Hawaii and I was out there and I was in Hawaii for 90 days. I went on a sabbatical back then. And I saw all these people out in the water who didn't look like me. And I said, I'm going to try surfing. Where did I get the idea, me, a man whose skin color that I have, is not supposed to ski? I mean, not supposed to uh, surf. And so when I got out there and I tried it, and it took a while for me to, barely get up on that board, it tore down some old stinking thinkings in my mind. The joy I had to be on that surfboard and to laugh and giggle in the water. I was 45 years old, I think I was. just 10 years ago, maybe 43, I think, 40, 43 maybe. And to experience surfing in the ocean. I went further and I went snorkeling. To go snorkeling, that I thought, because of the color of my skin and the way I was told that Black people don't do this, I went and I did it, and what a joy it was. After I experienced that, family, because we're talking about this Black mindset. Somebody asked, what is a Black mindset? Exactly. What is a Black mindset? A Black mindset is one who has been told that you, by the color of your skin, is Black. You are only allowed to do things because of your Blackness of your skin. We were told your people only do this and others do that. When I got into debunking this mindset of what I thought I was only able to do, is when I prospered even further into exploring things beyond that I could imagine, because I was stuck in a Black mindset. Stay with me, family, because here it is. When we were told we were Black, we were told you can only go to certain places. You couldn't come in front doors. You couldn't sit in front of the bus seats. You couldn't go to certain bathrooms. And everywhere we turned and walked was signs that said, Blacks only this way, whites only that way. I'm going to say this too to the white people who even might watch this. Even you were trapped into the white mindset of believing by what we were told. You were told, Black folks were told, that we were supposed to live life in a box that those who determined to separate, to build a mindset, to keep people at bay in who they are, was all a trap. This whole idea of this Black mindset destroyed a lot of us. Matter of fact, it has even caused us to hate ourselves. You know, most things when you listen, especially back in the days, when you had words that were created, Black was bad, white was good, and then, like the devil's food cake was Black, angel food cake was white. You had, the white light of, or the angels were white. The devil was dark and red with Black around his aura of his body, outside of it and all, and it showed evil. This whole thing that has trapped us into a mindset to cause us to behave and think at a limited place has killed us, destroyed us. Even today in society, many of you can attest, when we go to places, whether it's on jobs or whether it might be in venues or whether it may be out in the public, we will typically think, if we go to a restaurant, to a store or something, and we feel as though we have been slated, first thing we're going to think is because we're Black. The first thing we're going to think is that this is something that we have conjured up in our minds at times to hold us back. Matter of fact, we will use that even as an excuse against ourselves why we can't achieve. You know, I had to understand some things in life, that though there are things that may be obstacles in our path, it should never stop us from continue to pursue the very things we want in life. This business mind, this Black business mind, I have watched many people fail because of the idea that being Black was the reason why they could not succeed. From our own people, I've heard this from people's mouths. I know that here in today's society, though we live in systems that may be prejudiced and biased against those of color, still does not give us a reason why we should not try still and go towards what we want to do in life. So I got a video I want to play for you, not a video, but I got an audio of a guy I was talking to today. And each time for those who've been watching me for the last week or whatever, I've been playing some videos, I've been playing some audios because I'm in South Africa. And because we know that South Africa almost is kind of in line with where America is. This is why I am doing something different and special for each and every one of you all who are living in Europe, living in Canada, and who have been here for years. And have seen that there is a time that where you feel as though you're being hindered. So South Africa is very similar to America. Matter of fact, many people who would come to South Africa would probably be like, I'm going to stay in South Africa. Until you dig deep and find out maybe what some differences are instead of the similarities. But I wanted tonight because I believe that each one of us are trying to get to a place of our heart's desire. And even if you are in Black communities or even a country that was predominantly Black, we will still try to find an excuse of why we can't succeed. And so in my travels, when I talk to the brothers and sisters, whether when I was in America or when I'm here in Africa, I have shared my story on how I was able to get where I wanted to get to. It was not necessarily somebody else's definition of what success is. It was not somebody else's definition of what rich is or wealth is. It was something where I felt that when I want to do something, I did it, though there were obstacles in my path. There were potholes in my path because of systems that are in place. But I never let it stop me. And so I want to go and let you listen to this young man and how his brother here in South Africa, and now he's following suit of how do you get yourself out of a poverty-stricken place. And so I want y'all to listen to this right here. But before we do that, let's go to a commercial break. What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I would like to invite each and every one of you all to a tour that I am doing on November the 11th through the 22nd of 2022. This spiritual journey to Ghana is something that many people have been waiting for. I only have 18 slots that are available. This is an exclusive enrichment tour that those who have been searching for answers, those who have been looking for spiritual healings, that I have laid out this special tour in order to have those answered and for you all to experience what this whole Ghana tour is all about. this journey that we have been on in America, that many of us do not know the rest of the story. So I'm giving you the invite to come and join us. Go to goblacktoafrica.com and reserve your spot today. Didn't you like that commercial there? I'll say this right here. I got 17. I got one that's already purchased. I got 17. I said I need to start promoting rather, this tour that I find is going to be very personal. Now, some of y'all have noticed, and some people said, "Go Black, man. It seems like, man, you're taking a little turn in your channel and all that right there." Oh yeah. It's time to speak some truth, and it's time to open up some minds. It's time to bring people some healing, and it's time to bring people to a place of success. It's time to bring people to a spiritual empowerment. It's time for us to rise up beyond and where we have been. How many of us wants to remain right where we are for the rest of our lives? How many of us wants to continue to go ahead and find excuses or blame instead of doing what we should do in order to get where we want to get? Sometimes it do take relocating out of places that may not be beneficial to you. Sometimes it takes for you to remove yourself around the circle of people, friends, and family that has been hindering you, because that old schools of thoughts and thinkings and that stinking thinkings that has been cluttering your mind, that has been spiritually hindering you, where you need to wake up and realize it's time to move forward. This is where we as a people, when I say we as a people, those who are connected spiritually understand that the Most High that is in our lives is there to overpower any obstacle and potholes that are in our path. I even had to realize that because of the fact that a lot of the excuses I did before I went on my business journey, before I went on my mental journey, my spiritual journey in life at a younger age, it was always me, the issue. So let's listen to this audio that I got with a young man. He was my Uber driver. I love to talk to these guys here because, I mean, these are local folks, and you have access to them when you're driving somewhere and you ain't got nothing else, nowhere else to go but sit there and talk with them. But let's listen to this right here. Let's see if I can pull up. Okay. Let's listen to this conversation. Uh-oh. Did I do it again? Okay, hold on a second. All right, so listen to this, family. Sit back, listen, and just let it touch your spirit and what I'm trying to pull out of him, but yet also what he's saying. And then put yourself in the shoes and see where do you play a part in this, how this has an effect and impact on you. Let's not get lost into it's his story. No, let's think about what is being shared.
Can you turn that radio down? I'm hard of hearing. I want to make sure I get this. Because I love the story. I love the story you're sharing. Because there's possibilities you can come from out of being poor. Right? Yeah. Your brother, is he poor? He's poor, but he has his own thing. So he has his own thing. Yeah, his own thing. Because you said that he started with, he was working at a car wash, washing cars. Some guy wanted him to drive for him that you knew, that y'all knew. Yeah, that's all. Huh? Yeah. So he started driving for him. Yeah. You said your brother saved money. Saved money from them. And then he bought him, he bought a taxi, a van. Yeah. And how long did he do that? He did that for like 5 years or 4 years.
Okay, so one second here.
So then he saved his money.
Some people saying that it's kind of low. The volume, it sounds a little low. So let me go ahead and do this again, okay? I'm turning it up. I'm gonna make sure my mic's right here.
I want to make sure I get this.
Let me know if y'all can hear this.
I love the story you're sharing. Because there's possibilities you can come from out of being poor. Right? Yeah. Your brother, is he poor? He's poor, but he has his own thing. So he has his own thing. Yeah, he has his own thing. Because you said that
Now keep in mind, I'm going to repeat what he said because He was kind of talking low, so I'll repeat a lot of things he say.
He started with, he was at working at a car wash, washing cars. Some guy wanted him to drive for him that you knew, that y'all knew. Yeah, that all. Yeah. So he started driving for him. Yeah. You said your brother saved money. Saved money from them. And then he bought him cheats. He bought a taxi, a van. Yeah. How did he do that? He did that for like 5 years or 4 years. 5 years or 4. Okay, so then he saved his money. And then what did he do? He saved money and he bought a car. He bought a car. Yeah, he bought a car. I remember the car, it was a Toyota Ethos. It was a what? A Toyota Ethos. Toyota? Yeah. Okay. The first car. He used to drive for Uber. So he started driving for Uber? Yeah. Okay, so he drove for Uber, then what else did he do? Uber. From since then he was working for Uber since from then. And he bought another car. Uh-huh. He bought another... How was he able to buy another car and another car? With Uber money. He saved his money? Yeah. Oh, he saved his money.
Let me pause right there, family, because we're talking about an impoverished, poor mentality. And I've said this to all you Africans and all our brothers and sisters there in America, that the problem that we have as a people, we spend every penny we got. We rather look like we got money than have money. We rather drive like we have money, but got no money in the bank. What this brother have said, and so those who are coming in so far, and maybe you not heard what he's saying, because I'm trying to pull out of him, because he shared a quick story, and I said, let me capture this. His brother, who had nothing, he was working at a car wash, washing cars. And we know people here don't make money washing cars. But it just so happened that one of his friends, whoever he was, wanted him to drive for him. And he started driving, doing some driving for him or what have you. And when he said driving for him, is that using his car that he would rent to him, and he does the Uber. So he was doing the Uber driving. So his friend had a business mindset. I'm gonna let you use I'm gonna rent my car to you, and you can do the Uber. So his brother was driving the man's car. So I guess just like this, brothers, you're going to hear from this brother here who's telling the story. His brother's doing the same thing with his own brother. Look, I'm not driving this car, but I'm going to go ahead and rent it to you, and you can drive it, and you can make you some money. So this guy apparently maybe was working a 9-to-5 job. His car is sitting out in the parking lot doing nothing. This is what I'm assuming, because he didn't tell me this. But come on, some of y'all can pick this up now, because you could do the same thing. I'm going to work 9 to 5, and my car is sitting out there doing nothing. I bought a car to take me to and from work. It only gets its time on the road, probably a couple hours a day, and I'm paying a monthly car note on it. But this guy wanted to go ahead and rent his car out to his friend, who's this guy's brother, who's washing cars. So his brother got this car, and he started working, and for 3 years, he's working for Uber. But here's the kicker. The kicker is his brother saved his money. And this is the problem where black mindset, if you will, because what is a black mindset? It's an impoverished mindset, because we were told, number one, we were black. Number two, in our community, we were told we dress good, we look good, we can be in debt, not how to save money, not how to go ahead and build off of what you see. We are told the black mindset, what black people do. How many comedians have you over the years talked about how broke we were as a people? Yeah, we broke, we this and that, ha ha ha, we laugh at it and all that. So let's get back to what he's saying of what his brother did that had nothing, which is the same story as I had. So let's get into it. Let's continue on.
So he started driving for Uber. Okay, so he drove for Uber, and then what else did he do?
From since then he was working for Uber. Since from then, and he bought another car. He bought another.
How was he able to buy another car and another car?
With Uber money.
He saved his money.
Yeah.
Oh, he saved his money. So he bought.
And you see, when he was using this FNB, you see, when FNB use FNB, when you get a lot of money going inside your account,
yeah,
it can give you a loan.
Okay, yeah. So he started saving money in his account. Then he went to the bank to get a loan.
Yeah.
To buy which car? The second car?
The second car.
Okay.
Yeah, so he bought the second car.
Okay.
Yeah. So he worked from there, he worked, and he bought a house.
Now hold up, because I don't want to skip what he just said. He just said his brother worked and bought a house. I told y'all I worked 3 jobs. 3 jobs I worked. It's so many people don't even believe me. But let's go ahead. Let's continue on.
Then he bought a house.
Yeah.
Okay. Get a loan.
Yeah.
To buy which car? The second car?
The second car.
Okay.
Yeah, so he bought the second car.
Okay.
Yeah. So he worked from there, he worked, and he bought a house.
Okay. And then
when that's when the business started now, then he bought another.
I can't hear you.
He bought another car, then he bought a Mercedes Benz.
So he bought a Mercedes Benz?
Yeah. To put it on the Uber plate.
Okay. So he got a loan for his house.
Yeah.
So he got a loan for his house, and then he turned around, he was saving more money, then he wound up getting another loan for Uber Black.
For Uber Black.
For Mercedes Benz.
For Mercedes Benz.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then what he do?
And then when he works our school, and then so I asked him to pay for school for me. He said he can't because he have a lot of the debit.
He has a lot of debt.
Yeah.
He couldn't pay for your way to school because he has a lot of debt.
Yeah.
We're going somewhere. Yeah. Got you.
But he said he can buy me a car so I can pay the installment, and maybe I can pay my own school fees.
Okay. So as you heard now, because this right here, this is some great conversation for those who's not going to listen. So hey, you're just gonna miss it. But I'm going to go ahead and rehash what he just said, because his brother started with nothing. He was washing cars. Friend had a car, rented the car out to his brother. His brother worked, and he got another car. But how did your brother get a car, I asked? He said he went because the money he had saved in the bank account the bank saw that he had money in the account that showed that he had a history of knowing how to save, that he at least might have a sense of knowing how to pay bills. They gave him a loan for another car. Are y'all getting this? Yeah. What's the name said? If you picked up, he worked. Some of us don't like to work. Some of us, I tell most people, I come across as, because people come to me all the time. Can you help me? You got a job, right? Yeah. Why don't you got 2? Oh, I'll be so tired when I get off work. I don't want to hear that, man. You got to work to get your way up to where you need to be. Because see, the black mindset that we tell each other is that we can go ahead and get up in the morning and work 8-hour shift and then go home and then party it up and spend up our money and then go back tomorrow broke as a joke, hungover, and still do the same thing for the next 30 years. Ain't this true? But he's saying that his brother wound up getting a loan, got another car, and he had asked his brother, could he send him to school? Because I think you're going to hear this a little later, that his parents sent him to school for 1 year, and his parents said, we can't afford to send you no more. I said, how much is your college? $2,600 a year. Now, many of us, we wish college was that cheap in America. We would wish college would be. It was a 4-year college. He wanted to go to mechanic school. We're going to get into that. But continue to listen what his brother was doing. Let me go ahead, put this on.
Mercedes-Benz.
for Mercedes-Benz.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then what he do?
And then when he works, he works our school, and then so I asked him to pay for school for me. He said he can't because he have a lot of the debit.
He has a lot of debt.
Yeah.
He couldn't pay for your way to school because he has a lot of debt.
Yeah.
We're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Got you.
But he said he can buy me a car so I can pay the installment, and maybe I can pay my own school fees.
So he gave you one of his cars.
Yeah.
That you have to pay the installment.
Yeah.
So you got to pay the installment, but you're able to make money to possibly go ahead and go to school.
Go back to school.
Because you said you went to school for 1 year, but your parents couldn't afford it no more.
Yeah.
So you've been doing Uber for 2 years. Okay. Have you been saving your money?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been saving money.
Are you going to be able to go back to school?
Yeah. I will.
For saving money?
I will. Yeah. Mara, now things are still tougher.
Yeah. Such is life. Life is tough. Yeah. Okay.
Life is tough. Yeah.
But you're still saving.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You're getting there. That's good for you, man. Good for you. And how many cars you said your brother have?
He has 5 cars.
He has 5 cars.
Yeah.
And he has people driving these
He
cars.
has people driving his car.
So he created a business.
He created a business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So he has a house. He has 5 cars. He's working those cars.
Yeah.
And he drives Uber too as well.
Drives Uber too.
But he drives the Mercedes-Benz, which is an Uber Black.
Yeah.
That costs people more money who wants to go in class. You know, those people who wants to go in style.
Yeah.
So he's got a market for those people who got the money.
Sure.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
How old is your brother?
My brother is 30.
Your brother's 30.
Yeah.
Now, when did he starting driving for the guy who wanted him to drive for him? How old was he then?
I was still young, you know. Old. So around 19, 20.
He was 19 or 20.
20, yeah.
Fair to say, probably, let's just say 20 years old.
Yeah.
So in 10 years,
Yeah.
he was able to save money, buy a car, get a home. I didn't say buy because he got loans, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He was able to, because I tell people this right here, there's nothing wrong with getting loans.
Mm-hmm. He always telling me that he doesn't want to getting a loan.
There's nothing wrong with getting loans. The reason why I say there's nothing wrong with getting loans, it's all about what you do with the money you got.
Yeah.
See, the great thing about a loan is you're using other people's money.
Yeah.
The bank loan out the money that people got in their bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So then that you can use other people's money to turn around and make money.
Yeah.
That is the way when you're wanting to get a loan. The good thing is that if you're going to get a loan for a business that's going to bring you money,
Yeah.
getting a loan for a house is not a good idea because that house is not bringing you money.
Yeah.
It's not bringing you money. So now you're paying for a house that's not bringing you money. But cars, like you said, is bringing him the money.
Yeah.
So that debt is called good debt.
Yeah.
Bad debt is when you get a loan and something is not going to return you money.
Mm.
And the best thing about it is that, wow, I can go to the bank, use other people's money, and I will pay back that money. But the money that I can get off that money that I've loaned or borrowed from could be substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay, so you're trying to follow that.
Yeah.
So
You're driving.
let me
You're
say this right here. I say this till I'm blue in the face to our brothers and sisters who try to find excuses, who are trapped into a black mindset. That we always use the excuse that I don't have no money to save. And I always say, yes, you do. Do you have a penny? What a penny gonna do? This is what I hear all the time. Because I used to say it. I ain't got no money to save. What? The little money I make, that money's spent. In actuality, it's not. Not when you really break down of what you're spending your money on. You see, It's not about how much you start off saving. The start off saving will create a habit of you saving. Because once you start a habit of putting away pennies, you're going to really check yourself and say, I can put a nickel away at least. Then you're going to be like, man, I could put a dime away. Look at this spare change I keep putting on my counter, in my ashtray, in my car, whatever. Let me put it now into a bucket. Now, I can do better than that. I can put $1 away at least a week, $2 away. Matter of fact, you're going to wind up seeing the things that you waste your money on, which will then catapult into you saving more money in order to get where you need. Now, what he just described, because this is a problem with us people who have a black mindset. And why I'm saying black mindset, because there's people who are going to get offended because they're going to be like, oh, what do you mean black mindset, man? What you hating on us? What? No. The trap of what we were told, how we're supposed to think, how we behave, how we live, how we do with our money, how we do business. All of these things are all right, we back. What you heard was with this brother starting with nothing, and he built him a business. Poor South African, out washing some cars, barely making ends meet, got nothing really to show for himself, started making money and saving his money. Something that we know a lot of us just don't do. Like I said, we rather look like we got money than to save money to have. We rather drive like we got money, drive things that looks like we got money, than for us to put our money. We rather buy an expensive house to try to show the world I've made it and I am here, and stretching penny to pay for that house mortgage, than for you to take that money and take some of that money and put it in savings and buy a reasonable house within the means that where you are at that moment. This is what we do to ourselves, because we rather go along with the program with the rest of the people out here who are broke, who don't care nothing about getting to where they want, and want to continue to have excuses of why they can't make it. Isn't this true? This is a South African sharing a story of his brother. And now he is piggybacking off his brother with the idea that he himself can possibly do the same thing. But we're going to continue with this conversation. Listen to this.
You get a loan and something is not going to return you money. And the best thing about it is that, wow, I can go to the bank, use other people's money, and I will pay back that money. But the money that I can get off that money that I've loaned or borrowed from could be substantial amount of money.
Now, let me say this too, because I didn't mention this when I took this cut this off. This is what I mean, family. Listen to this right here. Doesn't it sound like a good idea? The bank will require you to put some skin in the game. That means a down payment or a deposit. If you want to get a loan, they're going to say, okay, you got to put 20% down. We'll give you 80%. And we'll give you this money. Or loan you this money because you got to pay it back. So you mean to tell me I just have to come up with 20% and you're going to give me or loan me 80% of people's money, and I can take that money and try to flip it or try to build it or try to make it a profit for me. And I can keep that money and all I got to do is pay the loan back, of course, with interest. But you mean to tell me that's not a good idea? That's a perfect idea. The worst loans to get, family, are the loans when you're not getting the loan for it to make you money. That's why I was saying that this when you buy a car, that car depreciates every day. And you typically use that car to transport around. Some of y'all who works 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, you're on the road for an hour maybe to get to work, an hour to get back. That car sits, whatever. And on the weekends you might use it to drive around. And you got to go here, there. But the car you spent this money on is diving, it's nosediving, depreciating. Now, because of COVID, I think cars are now cost more and they're holding their value because of everything slowed down during COVID, that the supply chain had fell up through the bottom and the demand for cars were needed. So the used cars were holding value. But typically, hear what I'm saying, that car is bringing you no money in. But for one who will say, hey, you got your tired son at home, your tired daughter ain't got no job, and they claim they can't get no job, turn them into an Uber driver to make some money off of your car. You got a house that you've been paying this mortgage on, kids grown up and left. You got a couple of spare rooms. Try some Airbnb. Maybe some family members, somebody can go ahead and rent a room out. This is what we can do with what we have that we've gotten loans from the bank, that we're using other people's money, that we can turn around and flip it and make the money and make profit. And this dude took one car and turned around and got 5 cars. He also, because of his habit of saving, proved to the bank by the money they saw in his account, he was able to get a loan to purchase him a house. Now, I rent houses that I live in, and it never made sense to me when I used to hear people say that. I'm like, man, but still, what is the difference? You still got to pay, man, either on my... Okay, we back. You got to weigh out some of these things to be able to figure out what is more beneficial for you, to buy a house or to rent a house. Because purchasing a house, we should use that as a means of drawing in income. But you got to do your math on it. It ain't that simple. Because there's some things that you got to keep in mind. What are the expenses for that house? And can you rent it out above the amount of what your mortgage and your taxes and any upkeeps and costs that you're going to go ahead and take care of making that a rental? In America, it's kind of hard to do because everything is going up. But let's continue on with this man's story, because this is what he said. Now, we're going to go ahead, because I broke that down to him as far as seeing the fact that there's a thing as good debt and a thing called bad debt. And that bad debt, like I explained to him, is when you going to go get a loan for something that is not going to bring you money. So we got to start thinking outside of this broke mindset, Black mindset that's in the community, that you go buy a $50,000 vehicle and do nothing with it, and it depreciates every day. Now, he mentioned his brother bought a Mercedes-Benz, got a loan, got a Mercedes-Benz, because he wanted to do the Black Uber. The Black Uber is for those elites. The people who got the money, they don't want to be in no small little, that's what they got, these little real small cars, smaller than the small cars in America. But that you can just put you around. All right, there are people who are business people. There are people who got money and just want to drive good. They want room. They want leg space. They want luxury. So his brother peeped the game and said, I'm gonna go ahead and also get a car for those type of people. 5 cars he's got. Started with nothing. So let's continue on with this conversation.
So that's good. Okay, so you're trying to follow that. Yeah. You're driving Uber, you're collecting money, you're saving up because you want to go to college. You want to be a mechanical engineer, you said. Yeah. Okay. Now let me ask you this question. Becoming a mechanical engineer, are you looking at working for somebody first, or just working for somebody, or going to start your business, or what are you looking at? Because your brother is a great example of how to become a businessman.
Yeah,
instead of working for somebody.
I can't work for somebody. I can't work for somebody.
Why not? Why not?
I can't.
Why? But you want to go to college though.
Yeah.
And you want to be a mechanical engineer.
I don't think I'll work for somebody. Tell me what time to start.
I tell you what time to start.
I don't know that way.
So what type of mechanical engineer would you want to be?
Like fixing cars.
Fixing cars?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's fixing cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you can have your own business doing that.
Yeah, I fix this car. I'm servicing this car.
Oh, you fix this car. You service this car yourself.
And my brother's car, I do service them myself.
Oh, so you service your brother's cars?
Yeah.
Ah, now you're onto something. Now let me ask you something. Why do you need to go to college then?
To get more knowledge. To get more, to know these technology things, how they work. So,
do you need college, or maybe do you need maybe a certification in maybe something specific? Can you? One thing I like about YouTube. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I fixed my refrigerator at my house. I fixed several things on my car from watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because everybody always put up YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I went to mechanical school. I went to school for mechanical fixing cars.
Oh, okay.
And really, the car is the same, except for technology comes in, and of course they put computers in cars. So you're trying to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
But the great thing about a car is this right here. You know that you have, we call them, what we call the computer you hook up underneath here. And it tells you, it tells you what's wrong with the car, right? That is the brain.
The diagnosing machine. That's when you put that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the college. Because now you don't have to know everything about this car, because it's going to tell you what's wrong with it.
That thing will tell me everything.
And it give you a code, and you go look up the code, and then it tells you what's wrong. So now it's replaced all the school and training that you need to go to college for.
So there's no need.
Well, I'm not going to say there's no need to go to college. What I'm saying is this is something for you to think about.
Yeah.
Is that this I forget the name of it. The box that you got to hook up to your car. When something goes wrong with your car, it tells you, because everything has sensors.
We do have this. We call it a diagnosing machine.
You call it what?
Diagnosing machine.
Yes.
It tells you everything what's happening with the car.
Yes.
It tells you everything.
Tells you everything.
Yeah.
And it gives you a code.
Yeah.
And you go find the code, and then the code tells you this is the problem.
This is the problem.
Yeah. And the thing of it is that it saves you time. It saves you have to research, where back in the days you had to figure out what's the problem.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with if you want to go to school and try to learn everything. But it sounds like you already know a lot about cars.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Because you're servicing your brother's cars.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can always learn and teach yourself.
Now, let me say this, family. We have this notion, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. We misunderstand what education means. Education means nothing more than learning information. But because of the system that is in place, they have sold this idea, depending on your profession, but they sold the idea that you got to go to college for everything, when not necessarily you have to go to college. You see, I went to auto mechanic school. And really today in auto mechanics, you don't have to do much mind thought. It's a computer that we have that you can hook up to the car, and it's going to tell you what's wrong with the car, because there's sensors everywhere. Now, I asked them, I think I went on here on this conversation to ask them, is there a specialty that you want to do? Because if it's a specialty, if you want to work on brakes, if you want to work on transmissions, do you want to work on, the electrical system and stuff like that? Those are specialties. And maybe those areas, maybe you can go to a trade school and you can go ahead and save a lot of time and money and then just learn that. But do you know what really the best college is? I said, do you know other mechanics? He said, yeah. Well, if you come across something that you don't understand, you can either go to YouTube, you can go to your friends, you can do a little research, and then you know how to fix it. Because I fixed many things on my car. I fixed my refrigerator that I had no clue in, and I watched the video. There's things that I didn't even know that I did a little research on, and I educated myself, which education means nothing more than information. I educated myself on it, and I was able to do it. So my thing is that this is the mindset that a lot of us have been told, that we need these various different things in order to be successful, to survive, to do work. When in actuality, let's continue on this because I want to make sure that I get through before I tell you. I probably said in this video.
What engineer would you want to be? Like fixing cars. Fixing cars. Yeah. Okay. No, it's fixing cars. Yeah. But then you can have your own business doing that. Yeah, I fix this car. I'm servicing this car. Oh, you fix this car. You service this car yourself. My brother's car, I do service them myself. Oh, so you service your brother's cars? Yeah. Oh, now you're onto something. Now let me ask you something. Why do you need to go to college then? To get more knowledge. To work more, to know these technology things, how they work. So, do you need college, or maybe do you need a certification in maybe something specific? One thing I like about YouTube, I'm gonna tell you this right here. I fixed my refrigerator at my house. I fixed several things in my car from watching YouTube videos. Yeah. Because everybody always put up YouTube videos. Yeah. I went to mechanical school. I went to school for mechanical fixing cars. Oh, okay. And really, the car is the same, except for technology comes in, and of course they put computers in cars. So you're trying to learn that. Mm-hmm. But the great thing about a car is this right here. You know that we call them, what we call the computer you hook up underneath here. And it tells you, it tells you what's wrong with the car, right? That is the brain. The diagnosing machine, that when you put that thing. Yes. Yeah. That's the college. Because now you don't have to know everything about this car because it's going to tell you what's wrong with it. That thing will tell me everything. And it'll give you a code and you go look up the code and then it tells you what's wrong. So now it's replaced all the school and training that you need to go to college for. So there's no need. Well, I'm not going to say there's no need to go to college. What I'm saying is this is something for you to think about. Yeah. Is that this I forget the name of it. The box that you got to hook up to your car. When something goes wrong with your car, it tells you because everything has sensors. We do have this. We call it a diagnosing machine. You call it what? Diagnosing machine. Yes. It tells you everything what's happening with the car. Yes. It tells you everything. Tells you everything. Yeah. And it gives you a code. Yeah. And you go find the code, and then the code tells you this is the problem. This is the problem. Yeah. And the thing of it is that it saves you time. It saves you have to research where back in the days you had to figure out what's the problem. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with if you want to go to school and try to learn everything. But it sounds like you already know a lot about cars. I do. You do? Yeah. Because you're servicing your brother's cars. Yeah. Okay. And you can always learn and teach yourself. So I guess you want to fix cars because typically cars, you have specialties. Yeah. You have transmission. You know how somebody has. So I went through that already, family. But I wanted to share this right here, this story, this interview I had with a young man here. And for those who's coming in, maybe you've missed out on it. I'm not sure, but it was very plain and simple. And I've been trying to prove this point to many people. Many people are poor
because they have a poor mindset. This system that we call the matrix, you can get into it and find your niche or what you need to do to get work. We don't have to conform to it, and we don't have to let it make us or create us into what it wants us to be, but we can get into the system and be to the success of what we want to be. I truly believe that. Now, there's going to be people who's going to say, nah, nah, nah. I've heard that. I've heard that from other people. I've heard those excuses, and these are naysayers. These are people who will rain on your parade. These are people who will rain on your dreams. These are people who will, because of their lack of knowledge, their lack of confidence, their lack of, they don't know who they are, that because they have a lack of self-esteem. These are the ones who will ruin your mindset and having you think, like I used to think, Black people only did certain things. Black people only had certain jobs. Black people only went to colleges for certain professions. But this is the way we were raised. This is the way we were taught. Black people, go get your brand new car first before you even put your family in the house. You can rent an apartment but pay $40,000 on a nice car and you doing something. And everybody will say, ooh, that's a nice car. What year is that right there? Ooh, wee. Boy, you driving in style, man. Let me see you lean over there, man. Let me see that gangster lean. Man, look at you. And your pride growing all right there. And you living in the hood. And don't even realize that $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 vehicle is plummeting in value. That you could have took that money, got a loan, got that 70,000 and did it with something to bring you money in. This is the impoverished mindset that we have based upon us believing in this so-called Black mentality. It's all a lie. And a lot of it hinders us and it destroys our future. While I'm here in South Africa, I've talked to many who has little to nothing. And I try to motivate, encourage, and say, you can do it. What is your dreams? Your dreams. You see, another thing we curse our children in is to have them believe there's only one thing they can do in their life. What do you want to do when you grow up? And all the thousands of things, and you set your child's mind, locked it into thinking, I gotta find that one thing. And I don't know. This is what we do. And then as soon as they come out of their mouth and they say they want to do something, you can't do that. You can't do that. Will shatter the dreams of your own child or your own loved ones. When I had to find out, it was me who was the one to create my dreams. It is me who's the one who has to accomplish my dreams. It's me. And though that you heard in this video or the audio here, that this brother, he explained his brother's discipline in working and his brother's discipline in saving is where he came from, out of just washing cars to now owning 5 cars, got them all working, bringing him in money, renting his brother a car to do the same, to pay for it, so he can have money to pay for college. Plus his brother bought a house, all off of an idea that a friend had him drive his car to make money while his friend rented it to him. How many beautiful ideas, families, that are out there that we are overlooking because we have been told we're Black, and our mindsets has turned that into a stereotypical thinking of thinking we only can do certain things, that I can only learn or go so far, or they will never let me do that because I'm Black, or they are going to never let brother do that. They ain't going to let you into the room, or they ain't going to allow you to, the bank ain't going to give you no loan. See that, and then we run around here, they wouldn't give me a loan. No, they didn't give you a loan probably because you got a credit score of 300. because you shot it down so terrible that you don't pay none of your bills. Now, I don't look, there's a lot of things I don't agree with, but am I going to sit back and cry about it and not do nothing? I know there's a system out here that is not fair. My mama raised me and said, son, life ain't fair and nobody owes you anything. So get off of that garbage. You get out there and you go do it. We got to break this. We got to break the systematic curse that we have upon our people. We can sit here and complain about white man all day long. We can complain about the system. We can do, but what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? And some of us has cursed our own children because of our own stinking thinking. You poor, so now you done made your children poor. At least I've seen some poor people, they're like, I got to find a better way for my children. I'm going to, if I have to, pay for them to go to this other school so that they can go ahead and at least have a chance to get out of an impoverished mindset of where most children are having hard times because of the lack of their parents building them and speaking into them. And yet, you got to sometimes remove yourself out of a circle of the naysayers and the negativity in order to prosper and get your kids along the way. This we gotta end it, y'all. And some of y'all, you know what? I have people writing me emails now. They hate what I'm saying now. Because see, I turned the corner just a couple of weeks ago and said, what am I doing into this whole scheme of things of talking to people, our brothers and sisters, who really I might be basically perpetuating the problem of this whole thing of when it comes to pointing fingers. Because not everybody has heard my story. Somebody's in there trying to defend me. Hey, I appreciated that, feet funkers. Funkers. I ain't never asked no people for no donations. I did. Well, let me back that up. About a year ago or so, there were people who were asking, they wanted to give. See, the people who wanted to give and donate. And I started doing that. I think in my description there is, I don't think I ever changed that. That there's people who wanted to give and donate. How do I give and donate? What you're doing, I see what you're doing. Because people see me, I give to this charities, I give to all these things right here. And people, they want to be part of that. So I say, I don't ask for money. If you got on your heart, if the Lord put on your heart to donate, okay, well, but here's the thing, because I'm not going to hinder what people feel as though that they said the Lord said to give. I'm not in it that way. But I appreciate that, Funkers. You trying to defend me, but you ain't got to defend. That's okay, because people already know who know me. But what I'm saying is this right here, family, is that we will even have those people who will try to sway you not to succeed because they don't have it in them to succeed. They will try to blame and get you to come on board and blame others and not and to hinder you and having you believe that it's unfair out here. Go Black. The bank systems in Africa is a colony system. Okay, please explain that. And so what? What are you saying? What are you saying? It's a banking system. I mean, what? You shouldn't be putting your money in the bank or something, or what? The colony system. Let me say this right here. We see this right here is a mindset. We get scared of words, and then we attach words to put fear into people. Colonialism, a colony, if you want to, a colony system. Let me say this right here. I've said this before for you brothers and sisters out here, and listen to this very carefully. We know this world, like I said before, is not fair. And it ain't perfect. But you have to be able to get in, to navigate through in how you are able to do for self, uprightly, wisely, honestly. And though, yeah, there are a system in place that capitalize off of many people, there are still, like I said, what better deal do you know that you can go get a loan? You put 20% down and they're going to give you the 80%, and you can take that money and make as much as you want off of it. And the only thing they want is an interest on that loan that they gave you. Now, me, myself, and the people know the things that I acquired, I have used my own money. I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. As a brother said, I worked and worked and worked and worked. My wife worked, the work, the work. She worked, I worked, she worked, I worked. We worked, we worked, we saved, we saved, we saved, we worked, we worked. And we owe nobody. Matter of fact, that's biblically. Oh, no, man. But what I'm saying is that in that transaction, that if I'm putting money into your bank and you're taking my money and you're lending it out, or I go get a loan, you're actually loaning me some of my money back and others. So we have to open our mindset up and understand that even in this colonial system, as what's the name said, a bank, use it to your benefit. Don't go get loans for cars that doesn't pay you money back. If you're gonna go get a car, rent the car out, use it for business, use it as an Uber, as on the side, make some money. So, if because look, majority of you all only work one job for 20 something. Hold up, I don't want to lie now. For 12 years, I worked two jobs. For 6 years or so, I did three jobs, one full-time, two part-times. Now I lost my train of thought. But my point is this right here. In that working and saving and working and saving and working and working and saving, me and my wife were able to purchase things without going to a bank. Now, my first two houses I bought were from bank loans. I put money down, and then I put money down on the house. I tried to put 20% down on the house. No, excuse me. No, I didn't. The first house, I put no money down because I used the military and the VA. I had to put no money down. So I used the benefits. Number two, the second house I got, I put 70% of the money down and 30% was of the loan. After that, each property that I bought for my own because I didn't want to owe a bank. Now, many people told me I was crazy. They said, man, you crazy using your own money. Use the bank's money. And then go get your properties, man, your rental properties, and then you get the loan for that, and then on the bank, and then they get the loan right there. And I knew how the game was. I said, I don't want to owe the banks. And guess what happened? When the market turned and the housing went bloop, that was in 2008. All of these properties that they got that were in loans and they couldn't pay because people were losing jobs and they would stop paying rent and they moved or went elsewhere. Look what happened to their property. They got repossessed. So if they didn't get the 20% back that they put down, they lost that in the house. And I laughed at those people who try to tell me I was crazy for using my own money. So I didn't lose anything. but it's only on how you want to run and work your business. And my thing is that when it comes to business, we got to get out of this mindset, because our own folks in that black mindset can ruin you, because you can do anything that you want to do of your heart's desire. The Lord's got you. If you with the Lord. Now, some people are going to say, well, there's a lot of people out there who ain't even following the Lord and they doing what they want to do. Yes, there are two sides of life. There is fool's gold out there of wealth that you see a lot of people who is about as devilish and evil and wicked as can be, who has wealth. But guess what? There's a consequence that comes to it. And if you would even listen to these people tell you the things that a lot of them go through, everything ain't peachy keen when it comes to what's going on within the four walls of their heart and their mind. I'd rather walk upright and be my own businessman and reach my full potential and not worry about having billions and be corrupt with a mind that is full of worry, full of guilt, full of stress, full of these type of people. They don't live a peaceful life. These are the type of people who work to the day they die. And they will tell you to do that. You know, when you look at Michael Jordan and you look at Shaquille O'Neal, because these are the people they put in front of your faces, you know, who's got billions, businesses. And these guys stay busy. They're continuously roaming and flying in business meetings and all that right there. And it's like, there's no way in the world. When I fully retired at the age of 48, I'm telling y'all, I enjoy it. And many people try to tell you, man, don't you get tired of being retired? Who says, well, what is retirement anyway? Look what I'm doing right now. I'm enjoying this. Some might call it work, but it ain't work. Not to me. But many will have you believe that, you know what? You keep going, you keep going, you keep getting more, you keep getting more, you keep going, you keep going. To me, I say, get to where your heart's desire. Because like I told this young man today, I said, today you feel as though you're wanting to get money. And I shared with them the story of it was an interview of, I can't remember what billionaire it was. And they asked him, they said, you got everything. Your money, you got so much money, you don't know what to do with it. Do you have any worries? And that rich guy said, yeah. And he said, well, what is your worry? He said, losing it. When you have nothing, you don't never worry about losing anything. So when I told a young man, I said, so you are at a place that where you are worried about, because you worry so much that you want to get rich. And the rich man is so worried about not being poor. But if you just live life and do what your heart's desire is, and you follow the Most High, you see, when you do that, it is said that those things, look, joy is what's added to the very things that you do. But for those who are wicked and evil and all these things right here, and you think that they got everything, if you really look at their family, look at them, most of those people are very unhappy. Because it's in the ancient writings. If you want to be rich, guess what? No problem. You can become rich. But there's a saying in the ancient writings, where much is given, much is required. So when you think that you gonna get rich and think that, okay, I got rich, whatever that line might be of crossing over a thing is rich, it's gonna require so much of you. Because me working 3 jobs required a lot of me to get where I was, and it was the work. And then I realized what was the most important things in life. Not that you got all this money. It's what do you do with the little that you got? Because I found out that typically when you start making the money, you now want to live a lifestyle, which was going to require you to work more. You're going to have to turn around now for that nice big house you bought, for the cars that you buy, the trips that you go on, the Louis that you buy, the Gucci's you buy, and all that's going to require your tail to keep working. But he who is wise realize those things don't even bring you happiness. They don't even define who you are. They don't even put more money in your pocket. They keep taking money out to cause you to make work more. That you're going to come to a place of life, like I had to come to a place of life and ask myself, how much money do I need? When I bought me a place, my house, straight out, I found out that I was only spending, when I did my budget, because I'm a budget type of guy, when I was budgeting, I found I can budget and live off of $1,200 a month. That was paying utility bills, paying gas bills. My car was paid off. My place was paid off. Utility, food, maybe do some entertainment, maybe once a week. And that was it. I mean, I don't buy designer clothes. I ain't trying to flash. I did that when I was in my 20s. But today, it's like, when they say that, those millionaires and billionaires, you could walk by the street and won't even know they are, because they walk and most of them realize that they've come to the mindset that I don't need a $2,000 coat. All I need is a coat. I don't need a $80,000 vehicle. I just need a vehicle to get me from here to there. I don't need that Rolex watch. Just tell me the time. I don't need those expensive things. And then once you get to that point there, now you're wondering, what do I do with this, what I got? Then you start helping people. Then you start educating people. That's what I do with my time. I don't have to work no more for people, because I found the key of life is living with little. And that you've worked so hard for is there to take care of you. That's what I found for people. I hope that this has helped somebody. I hope this has inspired. I hope this has opened up the eyes to those who think they're broken poor, that they can't get out of it. Whether it was your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, whether it was your family members, whether it was your situation, whether it's you got one leg or one arm, whether you got one eye. I have seen people who are fully disabled, no arms, no legs, that are very successful and taking care of themselves. I have seen some stories that I thought I would never hear or see, of people who's gotten themselves out of situations, whether they're disabled, whether they got these acronyms that they give you for these debilitating diseases. I have seen it, heard it. I have seen it all. Every time I think I've heard it all, I see something different. And I'm like, yep, it's all here. This is where it's at. It is all here. And when you get to a place to make a decision that you might be your own worst enemy, then you're going to rise to the occasion. So with that, family, thank you all for coming in, listening. I hope this has been motivation. Thank you for my South Africans here. I love to see those who I am coming across that are sharing their mindsets, sharing what they are going through, how it is down here in South Africa. And I'm able to even lend a hand. But I've been taught so much here, it's a beautiful thing to be. I believe there's people who should come down here to visit South Africa, because their story is kind of like America's story. Whether you want to say colonized or enslaved, it don't matter. It still keeps people back. But we know situations have happened, and that ain't gonna change nothing. But don't get stuck in what's happened in the past. Never forget. But don't get stuck of being in a place that where you looking in the past that's keeping you from moving forward. Because when you get stuck in the past, you will sit there until you accept and move forward. And I had to go through that many of times. Had to have. Can I interview some of our Zulu family? Yeah, I've already done that. Um, you know, the first interview I did, I think he was from Zulu. Now I think maybe you might talk about, can you go into the village? Maybe most of us thinking that Zulu tribe. There's many people out here who's part of the Zulu. I mean, we meet them all around. They're in business suits. They are in, working in stores, and whether it's in restaurants or whatever. Hey, what tribe are you a part of? You hear all these different type of tribes, whatever. And there's many people who's part of the Zulu family. Yeah, let's see what other questions we got out here. Anybody got any questions? Business. I got ideas. I don't claim to know all, but I don't claim to know a lot, but there's a lot I do know. And for those who are wanting questions, anything to help you along the way, any advice that you want me to give you? No, I'm not going back to Ghana before November. That's what the spirit is under the business suit. No. Huh? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you said yes, but that spirit is under the business suit. No, I'm not sure what spirit, the good spirit, the bad spirit, what? There's always a spirit underneath the suit. That's that body suit. Thank you very much, there, Kiara. Appreciate you. I always wanted to see an older black man talk like this. You are a role model. Go black. Thank you very much, there, Lisa. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. There was years I too was lost, and I talked a lot of unsenseless things and out of my neck, and I poured into the negativity. I was the one who was in the mix of that dark side of life. Yeah, and I'm thankful that I woke up. The one who woke me up. Echo Black, listen, ignore those sayings that you are talking down to them. They are not ready for the message and their mindset. Hey, my thing is just right here. I didn't even pay attention to somebody who's talking down to you talking about when I was making a remark to the person. Sometimes I like to acknowledge those out there who are negative because they need attention. And if we ignore it sometimes negative without giving some answers or reasonings, they keep on in their stupidity. I think as you was talking about when somebody made a reference of me asking for donations. I tell people this right here. You ain't gonna hear me ask for people to help me to my support this channel, and I need money, whatever. You're not just not gonna do that. I have been blessed by the Most High that I have been taken care of by the energy and the power and might that was given me to do for self. I don't need to ask for. The ancient writing says, "For my seed does not beg for bread. My seed will be the lender, not the borrower." This is what scripture says. See, when you get to that place and you have down that, now you have that spiritual mindset, you become the lender, not. Is there anything wrong with borrowing? Well, you become a subject to them when you borrow. But can you find yourself now becoming the lender? Because then that means it's a whole change of mindset. This is what scriptures say. This, there's so many people are so afraid of, oh, he's talking that the Bible thing. I'm gonna tell you this right here. If you look at really what's in it, it will open your minds up, your spirits, and you will even be that much more powerful person, because then you understand who you are. The world told us who we were, and we walking on all fours as though we are less than. We got to get back to who we are. And once we connect with the Most High, then you become a powerful source, a representative, an image of God. That is what is. That means nothing can stop you. Nothing. And the Most High will allow you to walk in the areas that is fitting and conducive to where the Lord would have you. And so then you be thankful. Well, I didn't get that raise. I didn't get that job. I didn't get the promotion. I didn't get this and that. Well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I told y'all what the Lord showed me when I kept getting spit out of the system. I blessed you to be your own boss, and you keep going in here working for the system. And then when they spit you out, fire you, you appear wondering what's wrong with you or what's wrong with them. Go Black, did you take the walking tour in Soweto? If so, what are your thoughts? Did I take the walking tour in Soweto? Yes, me and my wife went through Soweto. We did that, and we walked through some parts of Soweto. Yeah, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. Let me say this with the family right here, because some people are going to want to know about, I don't see rich and poor. I not in the monetary wise. We do know what that means. But it is amazing. Every time that I think that those who have less money are at a disadvantage, the love that is shown me in the richness of what is in their spirit tells me, man, they're the ones that are rich. When I see those who have stuff and money, you typically, in my experience, will find those who are probably the most ignorant, evil, selfish, self-centered, egotistical people. So I'm not sure what your slant of asking what my thoughts of Soweto. Soweto is an area and is a neighborhood. It's a community, and it's bigger than a neighborhood. It's huge of people who are living within their community. Me and my wife came over to over into Cape Town, and I hear people that were saying like, oh, Cape Town's beautiful, and they're referring to the buildings in the shops and everything. And yeah, you got the mountains and we know that God's creation is beautiful. The mountains and the rivers and the valleys and all these things that come along with that and all. And to me, but many people want to call places beautiful based upon buildings. I typically, when I'm going in, I want to feel the heart and the spirit of people. Then I make my judgment on, is this a beautiful place? Let's see what's the next question. I got 11 more minutes, I guess. I can do that. Any other questions? Question can be about business. It could be about Africa. It could be about my tour. Matter of fact, let me go to a quick commercial break. What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I would like to invite each and every one of you all to a tour that I am doing on November the 11th through the 22nd of 2022. This spiritual journey to Ghana is something that many people have been waiting for. I only have 18 slots that are available. This is an exclusive enrichment tour that those who have been searching for answers, those who have been looking for spiritual healings, that I have laid out this special tour in order to have those answered and for you all to experience what this whole Ghana tour is all about. This journey that we have been on in Americas, that many of us do not know the rest of the story. So I'm giving you the invite to come and join us. Go to goblacktoafrica.com and reserve your spot today. Yeah, that's the commercial break right there, family. And for those who are really wanting to go ahead and connect on this, I call it the spiritual journey, because this is going to be unlike most of the tours that are out there, that, you know, just like these talks that I'm doing, we're going to have tours to bring open this whole thing of whether it's slavery, whether it's how Ghana has got its independence and where it is today. We're going to talk about, you know, even how we move forward after we've connected the dots and hear the horror stories, how we can also forgive but not forget the past, how we can move forward now and being healed spiritually beyond, because there's a void in many of us that we just can't get past. Many of us is God-fearing people that still have this wound that has not healed in us, because there's this other side that's just unknown. And because there are answers that are there's questions that you have had that's going to be answered right here in this tour, on the spiritual side as well as on the mental or the physical side, for us to gain a greater appreciation of where we are today. Let's see here. What's the other question? Where did your business grow the fastest, in Africa or America, especially housing? I don't know what you mean by grown fastest. I don't know what you mean when you say, how did my business grow fastest? Let me tell you something right here. And it's a great question, but that's, you know, these words that we use, you can't define it. What you mean grew fastest? I don't look at things as far as the time frame of something. I don't set myself up. You don't hear me say, all right, family, let's go ahead. Let's get this channel to go ahead to 200,000 by the end of this year. You will not hear me say, have these expectations and these things of trying to get to these. No, what the Creator will allow my life to, or the days to present to me, I am thankful. When I started this channel, I said, Lord, all I need is one person who life can be changed from this message that I send. I got thousands of people that come to me constantly and saying that by just listening to the words that were coming out of me, it changed them in their thought process and their thinking and their behaviors, their budgeting, their businesses and stuff like that, and in their journeys or whatever, coming to visit Africa, coming to move to Africa. I mean, I don't really try to tally up the span of time of how quick something happens. Those are downfalls that causes brain misery. I allow the days to flow, and what it presents is what I am accepting it to give, it whatever it may be. Don't get me wrong, though. There's sometimes I'll be looking at things and be like, daggone, come on, is that it? No, we get caught in that. We get caught up in that. But that's a good question, though. Am I enjoying SA? Of course. Let me say this right here. Joy is in me. I had to learn that, Pali. I had to learn that. There is a joy that the Almighty gives me. And it is up to me not to surrender or give it up to anybody. So even how a person may treat me, I should not give up that joy. That joy is there. So when I come into places, and even though it may see, when I come into places, like there are things that just won't move me anymore. Yes, I've been into areas that are impoverished with, with poverty, and people don't have, proper running water and sewage and things like that. And you've heard me talk about, things, like that. I'm like, I ain't doing business here because the people are not even looking out for the people, because I have a heart for the people. But it doesn't mean that I don't have my joy. So I'm in joy in everywhere I go. So when I'm in SA, I'm in joy. So yes, everything is anew, everything is different mentalities, different cultures, different places, and all. But you know what? They're all familiar in their own similarities and differences. See here. Good question. Or good question. Let's see here. Let's see what other questions we have. What kind of community is Soweto? It's a community. Why did you tour it? Soweto is one of the towns that many people are known for, whether it was Mandela and those things that brought people out of that area. It was a community that was set for those Africans and stuff. That it has a long history. I mean, and this, I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of things that are complicated when it comes to how things and people were set aside and put in certain zones and places, but it's a community. And I wanted to see Soweto. That was one of the tours that my wife set up for us to go see. And I'm glad I did. There was some interesting things in Soweto. Whether it was Mandela's house, whether it was Tutu's house, whether it was, we went to, babe, what's the place we went to where the guy was forecast some of the things that happened what's the name of that place? She'll tell me here in a second. But there's different places we went to in Soweto. We went on, I forget, that's the place we went to up in this tower. And because the picture of the thumbnail on one of my videos, you will see me and my wife together. In one of the few videos you see me and my wife, or photos you'll see me and my wife. Behind that, that's all Soweto. She's gonna let me know. Anyway, let's see other questions. Other questions. Ask me a question. Which questions you got? Let's see here. Here's one of these questions. Would a jewelry store do well in South Africa? I've said this once, I've said it twice, I'll say this again. Your business is you. Your business is the representative of you. What you put in your business came from you. So now whether or not you're well will dictate what or who or how your business do. How you pronounce that? Okay, this is the place that we went, one of the places we went to. Very interesting place. That was one of the places we went to. But anyway, people always ask me questions. Will this business do well? Will that business do well? Well, hold up. Are you well? Because what you put in is that business is going to represent is you. If you're a scatterbrain, your business will be a scatterbrain. If you're lazy, your business will be lazy. If you are a person that is about your business and you are up on point and on time and you thrive to go ahead and ensure that this business is successful because it is the reflection of you. Your business will be. But let's keep this in mind too when it comes to business. Because even then, when you go to do business, there's a lot of outside forces that press upon your business. COVID shut down a lot of people's business. Did that make you a failure? Trends and times change, and your business just happens to close down. Does that make you a failure? I say any attempt of business that you do, no matter what the outcome is, it's a success. Now they tell you it's a failure, but no, It's a success. When you talk to a lot of people who got money and went on business ventures, a lot of people have filed bankruptcies. Your Donald Trumps have done it many of times, and these other big businesses have done it many of times and come back with a different name or what have you. And yet it is part of the system that you can wiggle your way out of debt, clear it, and claim bankruptcy and start over again under a new business name. It's the system how they have. So, what is success and failures? Do you think people who live in rural areas in Africa are happy about their conditions, or do they want to adopt a more Western lifestyle? I can't speak for everybody, and I don't know. I've met people who say they want to, there's people who want to move to the city. There's people who are unhappy, and there are people who are happy. In every question, there's a flip side, and every answer, there's a flip side. You're gonna find those who are happy, and you're gonna find those who are not happy. You're gonna find people who don't want a Western lifestyle, and you're gonna find people that do. Good question though. Let's see here. Please put a question mark. Go black. What was the cheapest price you paid for a flight to Accra, and what time of year was it? Um, I can't answer what was because every time you go, the economy is different. This go around was the most expensive. Fuel prices, I paid $1,400 to get to Accra. Well, hold up. No. I fly so much. I'm trying to think now. I paid, yeah, about 12. I think it was 12. The cheapest price, you can look to see. Now there are some tricks that people do. They say that if you fly out on a uh if you're gonna book your flights on a, a Tuesday, what is it? Tuesday and a Wednesday. And if you want to when you book it, have you leaving out on a what days? Book it for you to leave out? To leave out on the Tuesdays or Wednesdays, you might get the cheaper prices there. Okay, next question. Brother Gold Black. Our people know about Mandela. How about Steve Biko? Um, very little, probably. Like myself, I don't even know a lot about Mandela. I mean, there's so many stories about Mandela, and but I really don't know a lot about all transpired with him. And what's interesting when you talk to some of the locals don't like Mandela. Some of the locals don't like Mandela. Some say he was a sellout. Some say he sold his people short. You got all kind of views and opinions of people. Are there a lot of free libraries in Africa? Is that a popular business? Is a bookstore a good investment? I don't know if it's a good investment or not. But I do notice right here, there are bookstores that close down every day. I mean, there's so many different type of books now. I mean, e-books and uh, auto books and all these other things that they have. I don't know. Great research for you to do. But they sell a lot of books in Africa. A lot of books they sell on the street corners and booths, depending on and if the country, what country I was in. Matter of fact, I was in Johannesburg and this guy had a handful of. Did you see him, babe? Yep, she saw him. He had a load of books right there on the street when the cars were. He just had a load of books and he was selling them. The books that we see here, they love Obama. They love. I've seen a lot of Miles Monroe, the preacher Miles Monroe. He passed some years ago. I've seen a lot of books of him. A lot of help books, a lot of like thinking books and help books of minds and business and stuff. I see a lot of those books out here. Let's see what else questions we got here. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. I ask you some loaded questions. What's some loaded questions you got, Muso? We Somali come from different countries in the east of Africa. Yeah. Our driver today was Somali. He had an interesting story. He was a Somali Uber driver that drove us from the airport all the way out. So he was from Somalia. He'd been here. And check this out. I was like, wow. I mean, his family sent him here to his uncle at a baby. He was a baby. And he's lived here ever since. Yet he's married and got two kids, and they live in Somalia. And he's been working, and he says he sends about $200 to $300 a month. And he said that's all he does is work. He says things are cheap in Somalia. But I said, well, how often do you go? He says, well, about 2 years, every 2 years or so. And he'll go for 2 to 3 months, he says. And I'm like, wow. There are people who have all different types of stories, live all different types of ways. Can you imagine being married and got two kids and you only see them every 2 years for only 2 months at a time and you work? He said he works. I said, how do you live? Where you live? He says, I live in a house. It's a 2 bedroom house. The bedroom I live in has 3 people stay in it. He spends $88. It was $88 per month for his rent. And he's able through Uber, whatever, to save some money. Like he said, it depends on. He said, I was sick last week. He said, I had the flu last week. I was sick. It's cold out here, y'all, in South Africa. And for real, it's cold right now. This is the winter. It's cold. You see me with my jacket on. So he said, I was sick. So that depends on how much money that I got to send back home. I said, wow. So only two won't go home once every 2 years for about 2 to 3 months. And you come back and you work and you sending money to take care of your family. Everybody got a story, y'all. Let's see here. A lot of story that we even in America don't even realize how people live in different ways, cultures, and countries. And this guy here, this is how he lived to survive to take care of his family in another country. And everywhere I go, I see people like that. Any concerns the US dollar is going to decline? Will you invest more in Africa to protect assets? Well, it's a very good question. The US dollar is going to decline. The US dollar is doing strong in Africa. Matter of fact, that dollar's going up. Matter of fact, the guy told me right here in South Africa, he said just 3 months ago, the rand was at, I think he said 14.5 or 15, 14.5. Now it's at 17. That means we get, for $1, we get 17 of the rand, when it's just 3 months ago, 14.5. So the dollar's stronger. And you could buy a house, you could buy apartments here, 1 bedroom apartment for 72,000, a studio for 60,000. And things are cheap here in South. When I say cheap, cheaper than America. Me and my wife ate at a nice restaurant last night, and we paid $26. We said, man, we would have paid $35 per plate in America. Hotels here where we pay $200 in America for the hotels where when you want to sleep good, you be like, we ain't gonna be staying at $70, $80 a night here in South Africa. Things are cheaper. So you can, take your money and bring it into places that can get you more for it. Yeah. It's called diversifying your portfolio. Next question. Please put a question mark if you got a question. I'm going over my time. That's all right, but I love answering questions because I'm trying to help. Go Black. Did you like Mombasa? Yes, I liked Mombasa. Didn't get a lot of time spending Mombasa. We even went to the beach. What was the beach we? Diani Beach. We went to Diani Beach when we was over there, and moreover on the other side to Port Jesus. Went over. For Jesus, they call for all for G. We went over there. We checked out some stuff there in Mubasa. How did you like the car synagogue? Everybody asking the like. How do I like? You're not going to hear me necessarily say I didn't like a place, because then I am measuring it to something else and have expectation for it to be just like that. There's so many differences in life that we need to appreciate. And that's the beauty. Like, each and every one of us brings so much to the table in our differences, yet we fight and argue over it. We want everybody to think alike. We want everybody to act like. We want everybody to be like. Just everybody want to be. And it's all different flavors of experiences in all these different countries. Dakar, Senegal, for instance, they speak French. They're more plain on the desert, more sandy. Um, the what else? Are more humid. What else was it? So there's differences. Differences. But I enjoyed it. Somebody said, "Is it cold now?" It's cold here. It's cold. Jesus, have your views on SA changed positively? I have a lot of. I've told you all. You know the positive of South Africa? A lot of the people. That's the positive. Everything else is on the outside of that. The system, the way things are, maybe, or whatever. The people are I'll say, the one thing about Africa is they don't have a American mentality that we're used to. We're outspoken. We're very aggressive at times. We challenge all the time. And I ain't gonna speak as a whole. I'm just talking about. I mean, as everybody, but I'm saying this is our way, because of how we, in the system that we're in, we are we have these type of characteristics. Not in Africa. When I come, the humbleness, the happiness, that's the positive, my sister. That change positively. What I'm doing is bringing. When a lot of people think it's negative, people need to understand that sometimes when you think something negative is negative, it could be positive. Have you ever had something that happened to you? You thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to you, but then years later, you turned around and you said, when you really looked at it and where it sent you or took you to, and it made you even that much greater or brought wisdom to you, you said that was the best thing that ever happened to me, and you thought it was negative. I say this right here: as one perceives something to be out of the mouth of the one, is a reflection of where you stand in that moment. So if I come out my mouth and you perceiving it to be negative, then that has to reflect on, okay, why are you perceiving it to be negative? As well as if you perceiving it to be positive, then is that then a reflection that then you have a mindset, a light mindset of looking at things in a positive light? Think about that. Next question. Let's see here. What time is it? 7:14. Let's see here. Coming to SA in early September. Sorry, we will miss you. Is that 60 grand or US? That's US. That's US. I'm sorry to say, you ain't finding, that I know of, new construction, a 1-bedroom apartment, or they even have here that they may look new, put everything new inside of it for $60,000. But what I'm saying too is that it ain't just about the buildings. You better check and see what the spirit of the place is, and what what the breath or the pulse. I like to say the pulse of the place is. Okay, let's see. Can you name some decent areas to live in SA? I really can't. I mean, I don't know what's decent to you. what's decent to me may not be decent to you. So that's a loaded question, as what's the name said. You know, uh, out of all the countries, out of all the countries you've been to, which one would you stay in permanently, or has that been already asked? It's been asked before, and at this moment in time, I haven't settled down yet. I'm still on my journey. Me and my wife, we are exploring, but yet, um, why not? We look at, hey, we can live in any place. Nothing has to be permanent. Some people like to use the word nomads, whatever. But at this point in time, is while we're healthy and we're out and about, we love to travel. And me and my wife just had this conversation. Is that we don't have to be focused on really trying to find a base. We can base anywhere we want and uproot and leave at any given time and go elsewhere. Do I know any Rastafarian communities in Ghana? Ba, 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 I know there are. I can give you some information. Send me go black to Africa at go black to Africa at gmail.com. I'll send you a sister's number where there is a community of Rastas that stand in Abri. So send me an email at go black to Africa at gmail.com. That email. I'll send you. Do I still have her number? Hold on a second. Oh, let me see here. Let's see. I think. Let me see here. Yes, I do. Send me an email. I will get you her number. How's real estate in South Africa? Definitely, it's cheaper than most countries I've been to. Let's see here. Mr. Goldblatt, do you only invest in real estate and that business you own in Tanzania? No. Have others. How do I know Nairobi? I like Nairobi. I like Nairobi. The way they got it for foreigners to purchase property and stuff like that is, it's a process that you have to go through. Let's see, let's see here. We got. Do you only invest in? Oh, I already answered one. Am I going to go to Nigeria? Yes, I will be going to Nigeria. Whenever that time presents itself. When time presents itself and it's that call for me to go, I'm gonna go. Yeah, somebody says right here, my rent in Johannesburg, 1-bedroom luxury flat, $300 US. That is true. Santon area. I couldn't believe it when they told us. And Santon is supposed to be the richest zone area in Johannesburg in the country, isn't it? Is that what were they talking about? That the richest mile. They call it the richest mile. And the guy told us what the average apartment was costing. And I think when we did it, it was like $280 a month. And this is the richest zone in South Africa, $280 a month. And this place here is where the money is. Santon. Well, matter of fact, somebody put it right there. Look, that area, right? That city right there. And the great thing about that place right there is it's got the train that runs right through it, and it goes up to Pretoria, on through Johannesburg, over to somewhere else, I guess. Look, somebody said right here, look, wow, you're right. Radisson Hotel in South Africa is only $72 per night. The same room would be $200. I told y'all. I thought I was lying. I ain't lying. I'm gonna sit here and tell you the truth. No, I haven't met Julius yet. Yes, they drive on the other side of the road with the steering wheel on the other side of the car. Yes, they do. Am I going to revest in South Africa? Not sure. I got to think about some things. Do you think that it's non-ethical South Africa spelling the whites? Do I think it's non-ethical? You know, I can't answer that because of the fact that South Africa is for South Africans, and then it's they got their governments, they got their people, and how they run in their system and their government. That's how they do. You know, it ain't about what I think. It's about how they got the makeup of things. Can you go? Can you going to meet the? Am I going to meet the unapologetic nomads in Johannesburg, South Africa? Are they here in South Africa? I thought they were probably somewhere else. I thought they already came down here some time ago. We already met already, though. We've met each other already in Rwanda. And I ran into them in Tanzania. Let's see here. Other questions. I'm gonna need question marks if y'all gonna ask me a question because I gotta go through this. You plan on coming down here to Tanzania and Kenya? What's my thoughts? Hey, go for it, brother. Go for it and visit. Great experience. Do you recommend any banks them, but there are those banks out that have a longevity and a history of being in the continent. ABSA is one of them, African Bank. I think that's South Africa. They are in other countries. You got you got many banks, but you got to look into it and all that right there. Let's see here. Do you have kids? Yes. Between me and my wife, we got 9. She's over laughing. 9 kids. 9. Okay, let's see here. Bless you too, Simo. Uh, okay, go black. Try this restaurant in Cape Town. Jerry D's. Tell us how you like it. Write it down. Jerry D's. My wife is already on it. $300 a month. What you doing in America? Hey, I'm telling y'all, you got places all over Africa that's cheap. You got places in other countries that are cheap. Can you all send can we see some rental properties if time permits? Yes. And I haven't even done one yet. And I reached out to a couple real estate agents and one wanted to show me some property this I wasn't interested in. And then I was trying to find some, not rental properties for sale. And other ones were rental properties, but they never contacted me. Well, the person he recommended, and he said they would contact me. They never did. What's up, Colin? I see you. Oh, you say hello. Oh, Colin, my wife said, hey, how are you doing, Colin? Hey, y'all going over to Emerald Life Tours. He is over in Rwanda. Where are you at now? I mean, I know you're up there in the mountains somewhere near them gorillas. Go check him out, Emerald Life Tours. We did videos together when I was in Rwanda. We went around, hung out. He definitely have a place for you. Go ahead and and stay and all that stuff right there. Good to see you, Colin, or good to hear from you, Colin. Let's see here. What country has the highest return on the dollar that you visited? Yeah. The highest return on the dollar. Mm, it would have to be. I'm gonna say between Tanzania. Well, I'm gonna have to say Tanzania because I haven't bought anything here. But if you're talking about exchange rate, the dollar exchange rate, um, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to say Tanzania. Well, let me back that up. I mean, it would definitely South Africa is definitely in neck to neck probably. If I haven't did the math to see really which one, but when I'm thinking, you from what they have here that I've seen and heard, or what I've heard because I haven't seen, but I've heard, which I have because I went on where we were staying in one place. They had property for sale. Um, maybe South Africa. Am I coming back to Rwanda? Not as of yet. I'm trying to knock out some countries that I haven't been to, Colin. Yeah. Have I experienced, go back, have you experienced the power outage that happens every night? How did it affect you? You know what's so interesting? Fortunately enough, they call it the load shedding. Fortunate enough that we haven't experienced that, have we? Load shedding. Yes. But let me show you this right here. Because all of Africa has load shedding, and it's amazing. I'm like, that's one thing that people should be thankful for in America or some of these other countries, that y'all don't have power outages, is what we call it, but they call it load shedding. And but where we are here now is like they got this app that it's called Es Escom Push. They got this right here, and you can put in your city. I don't know if you can see this light; it's too bright. You can put in your city. You can't see it. 1 second. And what they do is they'll tell you each day and the stages that you will be in. So if you're stage one, which where we are today, the power outage was supposed, they notified power outage is going to be out between 4 to 6:30. If they're going to do a heavier load uh loading, there's going to be 2 times in a day in stage two. And then if you're stage three, there's going to be 3, stage 4. And then, so what they're doing is trying to conserve and save energy, and they'll turn out different spots of the cities or whatever and just shut down a power outage at those times. And they do them each day. So they give you a heads up. We didn't even know nothing about this app when it was in Johannesburg, but the guy told us today, yeah, download this app. You'll know the days, the times the power's going out. It'll be out a couple times, a couple hours at a time. And it's like, man, if you in a stage 4 and they shutting it down 3 times, and it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours for the stage 4, now you wonder why a lot of places don't have big freezers and refrigerators. And my goodness, how do they get along when it's so cold? And if your power gonna be out for a couple of hours, I don't know. I'm gonna like this. We were told that, look, if you get up in the morning, whatever, and there's gonna be a power outage, go to one of the restaurants or something like that. Go to one of the restaurants. You can sit there, go to a cafe, because the restaurants, cafes, and the grocery stores, they have generators. Most places don't have the generators. Okay, can I type that app in the chat? I'm gonna tell you, yeah, this is a good app to have too, especially around Africa. You can take this idea to some other places and create an app. What is the name of this app? It's called okay, I'm gonna put it right here. ESKOM SE push. There you go. All right, family. That's the end. I'm at the bottom. I answer all the questions. I thank you very much. And you all have a beautiful night, beautiful afternoon, or a beautiful morning, wherever you may be. This is your man, not your boy. And let me go ahead and end with my commercial, and we will be out. Yeah, let me put that back up there. So yeah, if you put this right here, that is the app right there for those who want to know, and those who are wanting to participate in my tour that's going to be coming up in November. Please go to the website, goblacktoafrica.com. I'm telling you right now, it's on going to be on point. So check it out. What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I would like to invite each and every one of you all to a tour that I am doing on November the 11th through the 22nd of 2022. This spiritual journey to Ghana is something that many people have been waiting for. I only have 18 slots that are available. This is an exclusive enrichment tour that those who have been searching for answers, those who have been looking for spiritual healings, that I have laid out this special tour in order to have those answered and for you all to experience what this whole Ghana tour is all about. This journey that we have been on in Americas, that many of us do not know the rest of the story. So I'm giving you the invite to come and join us. Go to goblacktoafrica.com and reserve your spot today. All right, family. I'm out. Peace and blessings. What's up, family?